All right. Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, I meant to start the stream a little earlier, but I was like, you know what? I'll catch a little bit of shut eye before the stream starts because I'm exhausted today. Man, it is difficult to get out of a comfortable bed. It is mad difficult to get out of a good bed. I'm pretty much finishing this stream and just crawling right back in to go to sleep. Oh, oh, it doesn't help. The house is freezing and bed very warm. Okay, so let's take a look at this week's content. As always, we're going to start uh, in the event shop. Take a look at the new suit, stuff that's in it. Then we'll pop on over, take a look at the gacha. Then we'll do Twitter videos and alteration. Oh, great. I am cold and tired. It's a good combination, let me tell you. Hey, Kyle. Okay, so let's take a look at the Shenlong Gundam and we'll go from there. Head mounted Vulcan. There's no point even discussing that. They really need to rebalance that EX. There's so many just like Vulcans that are completely ruined, which is a shame. It like it has the ability to be pretty good. It's just never been fleshed out, you know. All right, stat wise, okay. So we're looking at about what 1300 or so melee attack on the head, which is honestly really good for a welfare head, so no complaints there. As for shot, we're looking at about 2250 or so. Obviously, it's not a shot head, so that's not really too big of a deal that it's really low. The really high melee makes up for it. Oh, no phone screen? You can tell I'm like truly firing on all circuits right now. I absolutely forgot to just take this very handy dandy plug and just come on. There we go. Give it a second to connect. There we go. Look at that. I got a screen. Ugh. Oh man. I'm so looking forward to sleep. Anyways, so as I was saying, melee wise, the suit is pushing up towards, 1350, 1400. That's really, really good for a welfare head. Shot, obviously, much lower, but it's to be expected. It's not a shot head, it's a melee head. So, good. As for word tags, Gundam type close combat. Gundam type is a very powerful, flexible tertiary tag. Activates a lot of really good traits. Close combat, definitely more melee oriented. Well, obviously. Beyond that, yeah, also activates a bunch of really good traits as well. I guess the only big issue you'd have with like running Gundam type on a melee build is that it boosts shot attack and not melee attack. But you got a lot of tertiary tags to pick from, so it's not like you have to use this one. So, stat wise, it's a pretty good head. Alright, torso. Trait. With lance category equipped, enemy melee power reduced by 30%. Do keep in mind this reduction only affects the suit that this is equipped onto, not everyone, so kind of a mileage may vary scenario with it. We're keeping the same word tags, and as for stats, we're looking at about 1700 or so melee attack on the torso, which is ridiculously high for a welfare. And shot stays at its token level, it's like 600, 700. Oh, excuse me. That's a lot of melee attack for a welfare, though. So I'm actually really impressed by that. That's some good stuff. The trait leaves a little to be desired, but alright. Arms. Dragon Fang. A physical shot skill on a melee spec suit, of course. Well, what else would it possibly be? Okay. Lower the enemy's Gunpla shot defense by 24%. Cool. B plus power, D pierce. Interesting cooldown timers. 8-second initial, 30 seconds base. Okay. On paper, it is a B plus skill, but it is a physical shot skill, not a melee skill, so it doesn't really mesh well with the suit. It might do okay on a welfare shot build, but with that awkward cooldown timing going on, I don't know. Maybe. Like, it doesn't sound that bad. You unleash a burst of flame in front of you. So it does sound like you can hit multiple targets, which is obviously really helpful for a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's okay. Sounds interesting. The awkward timing and, you know, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Statistically, 3,700 or so melee attack, 600 shot. That is, again, just a crazy amount of melee attack for a welfare. So, that's really good. And no, statistically, the Shenlong is an absolute beast. And then we swap out close combat for 4 forests. Now it's Gundam type and 4 forest. I don't like the 4 line of tags. I mention this every video. I don't think it's really that good. Could be a lot better. With that in mind, 4 forest, you know, it's there, it exists, but not really feeling it. Legs. Alright, Infighter job melee power boosted by 30%. Alright, cool. Infighters, we have tons of them. A 30% melee power boost, that's the, what, third highest mod in the game? 40%, 35%, and then 30%. 40% is something that we typically only see on limited suits or on very specific alterations. So 30% on a welfare, literal freebie. Sure, man, that's actually gold. The fact that it's super easy to get out to max, good. And if you lack good leg traits, here you go. You just need an Infighter job, you can get a melee power boost. Chances are you're running an Infighter anyways, so nothing but a net gain. As for stats, we're looking at about 1,400, 1,500. Oh, excuse me. Lots of yawns today. Actually, yeah, it's more like 1,550, 1,600, kind of in that range. That's, again, really good. Do keep in mind, legs and backpack tend to be the lowest defensively statted parts of the frame, so that's really, really good. And shot attack still hangs out kind of with its token 700 or so. Okay. Gundam type 4 forest again. Workable. Like, I say workable in the sense that Gundam type can activate a lot of really good stuff. But as the suit is melee centric and Gundam type is a shot attack booster, not a melee booster. Yeah. Very interesting suit choices here. Backpack. Critical up beta. Ally crit rates boosted by 78%. Now see, this sounds really good. It's just crit is garbage, so it doesn't really matter. Statistically, we're looking at about 1,600 or so melee attack and 500 chain shot. Sure. Excuse me. And then same word tags as before, so I'm not going to repeat myself on those. Yeah, the traits, like, pretty much other than the legs, this suit's kind of a wash trait EX-wise so far. Those legs are really solid, though, for what the suit is. Alright, Beam Glaive, Hell Jumper. Lower the Gunpla's beam resist by 39%, A- Pierce, C Power, 30 base, 3 initial. No. Hell Jumper used to be in my older videos talking about like the best parts to use for very, very specific reasons. But it was more so the weapon that came with it, more like the tags and stuff, than it was the actual skill. Hell Jumper's just not really that great. The traits that it has, A minus pure C power, don't help because, you know, C power, you want something that's kind of in the B plus range for your non-cutscene. You know, if that's kind of the, if you're doing the standard, you know, yeet, non-yeet, and then a cutscene or something. But I know people that run like 3 yeets. You got the 100% CDRs that do nothing but run EX skills, so whatever floats your boat. Okay. But yeah, no, Hell Jumpers, not really. And numerically, about 3,800 melee attack. That's definitely in the really high brackets for welfare melee attack weapons. So, cool. And then same word tags, Gundam type for Forest. And lastly, our Shenlong Shield. Shield throw, A pierce, D power, completely worthless. As for stats, we're looking at, wow, okay. About 1,300 or so melee attack, give or take, after carryover. And then about 200 or so shot attack. Lots of melee. Gundam type, 4 Force again. Like, overall, the Shenlong just packs a lot of punch. It's all, like, so much melee attack on this suit as a welfare out of the box. That's actually really amazing. And that doesn't count the attribute link boost that we're going to get, because I'm pretty sure this is the second Shenlong that we've gotten now. So, overall, it's going to be a very melee-heavy suit. Obviously, it won't stand up stat-wise to, you know, Sokai or anything. But for a welfare, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good punch. And those legs are really nice, too, in general. So, is it already the third Shenlong? Wow. Alright, let's take a look at the shop here real quick. Okay. Yeah. I do like this change where they just gave us the tickets for exchanging. It wasn't that bad when we were getting like specific word tag chips to exchange for, but this I think just adds more flexibility, so you don't have to worry as much about you know, missing 1 or 2 of these tickets. So that's always nice. Cool. What are our fragments for this week? Cubely, Freedom, Dynamis, Exia, Ale Strike, and then what char is this? Just normal char Asenbolt. Cool. Book. Okay. Neat. Cubely had really good arms, if I remember correctly. Once alternated. Okay. Well, with that out of the way, let's go hop on over to the gacha. Take a look at what that has to offer us today. And I guess suffer. So we have the Technique Attribute Strike Freedom Gundam, for people were saying in chat. It's also Big Alteration. And the Double O Quanta Full Saber, also alternate attribute. Nice. Well, they're both 7 stars, so I will just pop on over and take a look at them in alteration. Before I do that, I will take a look at the new pilots, and we'll go from there. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the fact they're just like new attribute suits and not brand new suits. It's like, you know, if they didn't build up on that the attribute link thing that they made all those months ago, I can already see people complaining about the fact that it's there and they're not using it. But of course, for them to actually develop and use it, they got to do stuff like this. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they hadn't created the feature in the first place, this obviously wouldn't be much of an issue, but they did, and we just got to deal with the side effect of it. I don't know. I think it's obviously, like, it's honestly just a net gain. It gives us more time to save horror chips while playing in between events. It's the same kind of feeling I get from, like, Punishing Grey Raven, where we have events that last, you know, like 40 days. Yeah, it sounds like a really long time, and it means that there's no new content really coming in those 40 days. Woe is me. Look at all the extra time I have to farm up gacha currency. Oh no. Such a terrible fate. I get it, you know, it's not brand new suits every couple of weeks, but like, come on, guys. Stop being so friggin' negative about everything. Alright, let's take a look at our pilots. We have Sweatson Stero. What a name. Alright. So he is our 3-star long shooter. Part trait, when one enemy shot down, squad shooting damage plus 20. Wow, it's fucking useless. Moving along. High firepower, high mobility word tags. Okay, you know what? At least those are pretty flexible word tags. So, there's that at least. High mobility does boost a lot of different, or sorry, not boost, but it activates a lot of different part traits. That's really nice to see. And high firepower is a shot and melee steroid, boosts both of them equally, and also does activate a lot of traits. That's nice. Statistically, we're looking at, 2,000 or so shot attack? Honestly, for a 3-star, 2,000 of your primary stat is really friggin' solid. So, nice. For a 3-star, pretty good. Your trait needs a little bit of work, but numerically, you're not doing too bad. You got a matching job license for your main stat, which it shouldn't be, but a rarity. Yeah, okay. And Hayana. Okie doke. Against enemy with advantageous attribute, all power boosted 35%. So this is just like an extra 35% steroid on top of a steroid that's already there. So, hey man, sure. Unfortunately, she does have the supporter job license, which is a little bit of suffering there. You're probably going to need a back slaughter to really kind of use her. Word tags, high mobility support type, definitely a back slaughter. High mobility, good, activates a lot of stuff. Support type, no. Statistically, 14, 18, pretty much across the board. So with carryover, we're looking at what, like 1800 melee, 1800 shot? No. Pretty much there for the part trait and high mobility. Other than that, kind of a wash on this pilot. Yeah. Okay. Well, is what it is, Not every pilot can be a winner. For a 4-star pilot, she falls kind of flat. For a 3-star pilot, Swetson actually is pretty good. Not what I expected when I first looked at that banner image, I'll tell you that much. Okay. So, let's go take a look at our Twitter videos, and then bop on over and take a look at alterations. Let's see here. G-Game. Let me just pop this over there so it's the right screen dimensions. Twitter video. Ah, look at that. I don't even have to do anything. Well, except resize it a little bit. Where are the new suit videos? Oh, do they not have them up yet? Oh no. Oh no, it's terrible. Oh no. Alright guys, well I guess we're going right into alteration then. We don't have access to those videos. Moving right along then. Hooray. We'll take a look at the Strike Freedom alteration, and then we'll take a look at the O Quanta. So, for anyone that hasn't watched me talk about alterations before, which I bet is very, very few of you, if any, for this, I am only going to look at the trait/EX skill for a part. I'm going to ignore the stats. I'll also be taking a look at word tags here, because I didn't look at the parts originally. But long and short, because when you alternate a part, it's pretty much guaranteed the stats are going to increase, though we do have less than 5 parts on record where when you alternate them, the stats drastically differed. So I do always recommend before you invest the materials into alternating something, you make sure the end result stats are what you actually want from it, because it is kind of a no-take backsies kind of a rule. Once you do it, that's it. You're not getting the old stats back. So make sure, but guaranteed the EX skill/part trait will change in some fashion, so that's why I take a look at that. Word tags don't change either, and yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed, minus very few fringe cases that the stat's just going to go up. So what's the point? Anyways, let's take a look at Strike Freedom, alternate/big technique attribute. So for the head, When ace exclusive, enemy shooting cut minus 40%. Do keep in mind the way that this currently works, there is no floor for enemy shooting cut. What this means is they'll have a skill like enemy shooting power reduced by whatever percent. This is supposed to reduce that value down. So if they have a 80% shooting damage reduction towards you, 40% of that just taken away. But there's no floor, meaning if they have 0 reduction towards you, this goes into the negatives. So it effectively is a power boost. So instead of saying enemy shooting cut minus 40%, it's while ace exclusive, shooting power boosted by 40%. Long-winded explanation, but there you go. So that's a really good first trait. Melee damage raised 20%, meaning you are taking 20% extra melee damage. Initial EX skill charge boosted by 25%. That is the new highest mod for initial skill charge. It used to be 20, well, no, I'm thinking normal EX skill cooldown reduction at 23%. 25% is the initial cooldown, so that's fine. Honestly, good combination. Solid shooting power boost, initial EX cooldown reduction. Yeah, cool beans. Solid stuff. Ace exclusive high firepower word tags as well. Yeah. Okay. To be expected. Something to keep in mind as well when it comes to big parts. Typically, the trait / EX skills are a little bit on the not so great side across the entire suit to make up for the fact that is a big part. Big parts have much better stats than non-big parts do. So we've seen in the past, they make up for this huge disparity in just raw numbers by making the trait / EX skills not as good. But we'll see how they decide to do that on this. I also see they got rid of the second tag already and replaced it with mid-range. Good tertiary tag for shot. Alright, meteor unit. Link up and annihilate the enemy with massive firepower. So on the original Strike Freedom, this was, I think it was the Calidus multi-phase beam cannon, where it just fired a beam out of the torso and it smacked things in the face and did normal, beam damage. This is now a cutscene. This is a double S- power cutscene, a relatively long cooldown as befitting a cutscene. And you get a speed boost and a 39% shot attack boost. Solid stuff. I may actually decide to roll the gacha a few times, if anything, just for this part. I was always a big fan of the meteor units from Gundam Seed / Destiny. I think they look pretty neat, but I'll see when I get there. Yeah, I wish I could actually have seen this skill in action, but, it's not like they had 2 weeks to get their stuff together and post the video on Twitter or anything. I gotta sympathize with them. Rush job. Alright, arm and shield integration, much like the original. Melee attack down 15%, so you are doing 15% less melee attack damage. Sure. EX skill cooldown reduction 23%. Highest mod, good stuff, just means you're doing less melee. The Strike Freedom does tend to lean heavily towards being a shot machine, so really not much of a loss. And the added trait when physical resist is over 7,000, enemy EX skill cut minus 40%. Again, that is a EX skill boost of 40% for you, as long as your physical resist is over 7k, which is relatively easy to do. So, good stuff. Ace exclusive high firepower. Okay, wombo combo tags. Alright, let's check out these legs. What are those? Ziphius 3 rail cannon. Why? Okay, so... what the fuck, man? Why is this literally just a hard upgrade to the original? This is ridiculous. Okay, so A Pierce, A- power. The effect time is 51 seconds. Cooldown of effectively just shy of cutscene. 60 seconds base, 6 initial. So this is going to be your counter skill. That's why the effect time is 51 seconds. You cast this and you enter a counter state. Enemy hits you with a bindable EX skill, something like bisect, anything that enters into a hard cutscene for you. You will counter. You effectively, As it says, attack with your saber, slash, and fire rounds from those nice old cannons on your legs. 48% heal, 39% shot attack boost, and your shot cooldowns immediately are reduced by 33%. It's a very powerful counter binder skill, is what it is. Alright, Ace exclusive Gundam type, cool beans, backpack. High mat full burst. Wow, look at that. It's another cutscene. D Piers double S minus power cutscene cooldown, and you heal 48% of your health. Or squad recovers 48% specifically, and your squad gets a shot attack boost to 49%. It's the second highest mod in the game for that. It's really good. Oh, did the EX finally get posted? Oh my lord. Oh, so they did. Alright. Let me bring that up. I want to watch this. We were just talking about the Strike Freedom, and look whose mug showed up. I'll be going back to play it again in a sec, because I wasn't paying attention. I was busy resizing. Okay, so let's do this again. What do we got first? So this is the high mat backpack. That's pretty much just like a fancier version with the lock-on mechanic thing that was showing. The original Strike Freedom backpack didn't have that lock-on thing, because it was like one of those iconic Freedom things that always happened whenever, you know, it did its lock-on thing. It did that. It's new to this part. They didn't have it in the old one for some reason, but here we are. Cool. Alright, counter skill. Hey, look at that. It's a bisect. Who could have foreseen this? And then counter skill, which is literally the same EX skill as before, just built into a counter with a bunch of other stuff. Cool. Torso. Let's take a look at this meteor backpack. So I'm actually really glad they showed that animation. I don't want anything to do with that. That just looks slow, clunky, and lame. No thanks. Alright. Let's take a look at the double O Quanta. Yay! Cool. Alright. It's a beam. You know, it's pretty straightforward, but I'm tis. And then... Okay. Like, nothing... It doesn't look bad, but it's... I don't know. It's... I just kind of expected something different, you know? To be fair, though, Jun, like, yes, we did wait 2 weeks for this, but this is also kind of, like, standard, you know, for, like, attribute change suits. It's nothing really new. It's just kind of, like, the same shit, just an extra delay on it. Hey, Brudax, you didn't really miss much, let's put it that way. Alright. Now let's take a look at the last few parts here for the Strike Freedom alternate attribute. The Super Lacerta Beam Sabers. Shot damage raised 10%, so you're taking 10% extra shot damage. Enemy shooting cut 30% or minus 30%, so an extra 30% shot damage. Cool. Melee damage raised 10%, so you're taking 10% more melee damage. And enemy shooting cut minus 35%. So if you don't mind taking 10% more shot and melee damage, you're getting a 30% shot boost and then a 35% shot boost. So 65% total. Honestly, for taking a little more damage, I think that's a good trade-off because, you know, just don't get hit. All right. All right, the Super Lacerta coupled variant. When one ally shot down, reduce cooldown by 99% once. All right, so kill a friend, get your cooldowns off. Cool. While Ace exclusive, squad shooting power plus 30%. Now, that second one's actually kind of interesting. That makes this really, really useful to put on like your support suits, because it means everyone in your squad, if you have your 2 support suits and this on both of them, as long as you have Ace exclusive, everyone's getting a 60% boost to their shot for free. And do keep in mind, because that means you don't need to use slots on your primary suit for this, you can get really, really high mods with all of these squad boost abilities, because we're starting to see more of them churn out now. The 99% cooldown thing sounds really neat on paper, but obviously because you have to have an ally shot down, that does limit its usefulness in a lot of things. So it is a mileage may vary kind of deal. All right, let's take a look at our beam rifles. When C power is over 300k, super easy to do. All enemy cooldown time up 23%. How do you beat the CDR meta? Not by fixing it, by just giving more tools to make it difficult. 1-800, come on now. When attacking with beam, very easy to do, tons of beam options in this game for both melee and shot. Enemy shooting cut minus 35%, so shooting power boost to 35%. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's an interesting part. It's got some neat little things on it. From what I understand, from what people have told me, all enemy cooldown time up 23% seems to only actually affect suits that you're targeting, as long as this part's equipped onto you. So, but I'm not sure. I don't actually have a part that does that, and I don't really know how to properly test it. So, all right, and our coupled high energy beam rifle. Shot damage, okay, when attacking with beam, shooting power boosted by 40%, and shot damage raised 20%, so you're taking 20% extra shot damage, you get another 40% shooting. So attack with beam and take 20% more shot damage, you get an 80% shooting power boost. Don't get hit, and use beam. Okay. Overall, obviously, statistically, the thing is a monster. The EX skills, though, are mostly recycled, and one of them is polished up from before. The Meteor one, I think, it's literally just reusing the Meteor unit that we got from the previous Strike Freedom and just adding new animations to it. But it's interesting, at least. It's just not my cup of tea. It's really big, slow, and clunky. I was hoping for something a little more smooth from that animation than what they gave us. But the Ziphius Rail Cannon counter is literally the same as before, just, set to a counter. And the High Mat, again, it's the same as the previous version. It just has the little extra polish of having the targeting reticles, which is something that, yeah, it's kind of iconic to the Freedom. So I'm kind of actually surprised they didn't have that on the first one now that I think about it, but here we are. Overall, yeah, it's a big suit. It's got lots of stats, good EX skills. Yeah, I know the original Meteor was literally just part comes down, you do a quick swing with it, and that was it. I'm saying they reused the model from that for this. They added a new animation to it, because that is pretty much all they did. I don't know. I didn't mind the fake Lacus EX. I found that it was like, it was interesting, right? I obviously wish that it had a better damage output, but like, it's a welfare part. It was really just kind of like one of those homage style things, which is nice to see. But, yeah. Anyways, cool beans. Let's take a look at our double O Quanta. Go from there. All right, recovery tool, Gamma. Squad recovers 68% to maximum armor. Yeah, it's a big heal. Who could have foreseen this? Close combat, 4 space. I don't like the 4 line of tags, so I'm not even going to comment on that. Torso. Job gauge increase down 20%. I don't like the job gauge. I think it could be way better than what it currently is and bring way more to the table. But obviously, you know, everyone's different. Some people really like the job gauge and stuff, so, you know, power to you. I just don't think this is a demerit at all. Squad melee power plus 35%. Solid. While pro tag, that's, yeah, if you're running a melee suit, you're going to probably have pro tag, 10% boost, pretty hard to say no to. Enemy melee cut minus 40%. So, if you don't mind the suit this is equipped onto getting a 20% job gauge increase nerf, again, I don't care, I don't even see that as a demerit, and you have the pro tag word tag active, you get, the squad gets a 35% melee boost, and then this part gives an extra 40% to the entire suit. So overall, it does a 75% boost to the suit that this is on, and then 35% to everyone else. Honestly, I think that's a really, really good trade-off. That's a lot of damage. Especially if you get a couple of these parts and you put it on a couple of your support suits, all of a sudden you're looking at a 70% melee power boost to your main suit, if not higher through the group boosting. Pretty good, and it's free real estate. Okay. Yeah, close combat, pro tag, cool. I don't know why they even had the 4 space on that first part, but here we are. Alright, arms with blade category equipped. Tons of blades in this game. Not even a problem. Enemy melee cut minus 40%, so you get the 40% melee power boost. When beam resist is over 5,000, easy to do, melee power boosted by a further 40%. So as long as you have a blade, just so you know, in case you didn't, blade refers to the large claymore style swords, the ones that have the very long, slow attack animations. That is a blade. So as long as you have a blade equipped and you have over 5,000 beam resist, both of those really easy to do, you get an 80% melee power boost. Solid stuff. Close combat, high firepower. Okay. Legs with long rifle category equipped. Those are a little rare in the higher bracket, but still obtainable. EX skill cooldown reduced by 23%. Okay. When buffed, easy to do. Tons of things give us buffs. Squad recovers 900 armor gradually. Why? Like, at least it's a really high heal mod. But, like, even this part alone, right? 4,477 armor. You still need, like, 5 ticks of whatever this, like, that's... I don't even know how many times a second this activates. I think it's, like, 1 per second or something, or even slower. But just this one part alone is going to take forever in terms of, like, an actual lengthy battle. Not counting your higher armored parts, you know, your shield, your torso. So, like... At least it's a high number, but not really feeling it, Mr. Krabs. Close combat, pro tag, solid word tag combo. All right, backpack. Full saber attack, double S minus power, D pierce, cutscene. Yeah, it's bindable. Raise speed of your squad by 20%, bog standard. Melee attack of your squad gets boosted by 39%, also bog standard. And raise physical resist of your squad by the magic 69. Yeah, you know, it's a double S minus power skill. It's gonna slap. Just add to the list of powerful backpack EX skills. Close combat, pro tag, cool beans. Alright, let's take a look at our GN Saber 4. While close combat, enemy all power reduced by 30%. Okay, that is one heck of a nerf. And while pro tag, enemy shooting power reduced by a further 30%. Okay. As far as things to make your enemies do less damage go, that's pretty solid. All power reduction and then a further shooting power reduction. Cool stuff. I don't know if I'd put this onto my primary suit, but support suits could benefit from this potentially, because that's a lot of damage down if you think about it. Okay. Interesting. Not terribly amazing, but interesting. Close combat, pro tag, neato. Alright, let's take a look at our blade. The GN Sword 4 Full Saber. S power, D pierce, low cooldown, 21 base, 6 initial. You blah blah blah. Yeah, use a large beam saber. Raise your melee attack by 29%. S power on a low cooldown is always really nice. It lets you do a lot of output, very little risk most of the time. Yeah, cool. The attack boost, I think, is just kind of the cherry on top for that. Melee cut, it means to take stats from the enemy. No, so the way that it works, Brudax, so when we have a trait that says, you know, enemy melee power reduced by 40% or whatever the number is, that is what's considered a cut. So if I had a skill on my suit where enemy melee cut minus 40%, it would take that the enemy's trait, their enemy melee power reduced by X%, and remove whatever my number was. Thing is, there's no floor to this, so it can go into the negatives. So if the enemy goes against me and has no reduction skills, and I have a bunch of the melee cut reduced by 40%, it just keeps going into the negative for them, and it acts as a power boost. So cool beans. Okay. Yeah, big sword, do big swing. Hit hard. Alright, the Twin Edge. When buffed, EX skill power boosted by 30%. It's super easy to get a buff in this game. Sure, 30% EX power boost, always nice. When armor is 60% or more, which, you know, again, very easy to do. Don't get hit. Enemy EX skill cut minus 35%. So EX skill power boost by 35%. Honestly, that's solid. You get a 65% EX skill power boost as long as you have more than 60% armor and you have a buff. No, you're not stealing stats, guys. I don't even know where this idea started coming from. You do not ever steal stats from your enemy. All it means is, for example, I'm pretty sure this suit had one of those. Yeah, it was on this, wasn't it? Yeah. So, for example, that second trait, while pro tag, enemy shooting power reduced by 30%, okay? If I got a part that said enemy shooting cut, or yeah, enemy shooting cut minus 30%, it instantly negates that second trait. If it happened to be enemy shooting cut minus 40%, I go into the negative and my resistance to enemy shooting power reduction goes to negative 10. So it counts as kind of a 10% overall boost, but the way that the math works, it's still a 40% boost overall. So that's kind of the way that this works. It's literally just negating those reduction skills. No. Again, it has not, you don't actually affect the enemy stats whatsoever. It is purely affecting their cuts towards you. It's just it goes into the negative. Anyways, moving along here. Let's take a look at our dual guns here, the GN Gunblade gun mode. When armor is 60% or more, enemy melee cut minus 30, so you get a 30% melee power boost. And in fighter job, you get an EX skill power boost at 35%. Honestly, solid combo. Have an in fighter and have more than 60% armor, get big buff. Get a little bit of melee. A little bit of melee, a little bit of EX skill. Good combo. Cool stuff. And the big rifle, the GN Launcher. GN Launcher mode is actually also the name of the EX skill. Neat. A plus Pierce, B plus Power, 60 initials, or sorry, 60 base, 6 initial for the cooldown. And you just release a powerful shooting attack. Did we see that animation on the Quanta from its video? I don't recall seeing that. Oh yeah, it was the big beam. Okay. Yeah. B plus Power, A plus Pierce. Big beam. That's pretty okay. Alright. Well, overall, yeah. Like, I don't really know what to say. Like, obviously the stats on these suits are bonkers. Every single time we get a new one of these suits, their traits are always really, really nice. I feel like the Strike Freedom definitely came out on top between the two suits in terms of like just pure EX skill availability. Um, yeah, I'm not saying the double O Quanta was bad, mind you, it's good. It's just like in terms of stuff, I think the Strike Freedom kind of just had the better take from this. But overall, they're both really powerful. Even the welfare is ridiculous with the amount of melee attack that it has for like being a welfare. So yeah, honestly, I I don't know. It would have been nice to get new suits, but I don't really care too much either way. It's just like even if they added new suits every single week for the next like 3 years, we still wouldn't get through the entire catalog of Gunpla that exist or Gundams in general. You guys got to remember there's so many suits in this franchise, especially with like MSV and everything. We'll never get to the bottom of the barrel. It's just not happening. So I don't even see a point of getting like, oh, they're not releasing new suits. My favorite's never going to be added to the game. I hate to break it to you, but the chance of your favorite being added to the game is so infinitesimally slim unless you like one of the mainline suits, just because of the catalog size. What they're doing with these alterations may not be your cup of tea, but see it for what it is, man. Like you're probably not going to see your favorite suit. Yeah. And it's not just skipping this week, right? Remember, what is it, Tacky? You're actually waiting 2 weeks between content drop patches now, not just one. So you got a lot more time to save up Haro, which is always nice. Hard skip. Nobody wants reskin suits, even 7-star 1/100. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't mind getting a few of the Strike Freedom parts just because I do like the Strike Freedom. But, like, I already have the normal Strike Freedom, and as neat as the big suits are, I just don't care enough, especially considering you need the whole suit for it to even, or, like, the frame for it to become a big suit to begin with. So, like, I'd rather not play that game of chase, you know? I don't know. Games dying. People literally will not stop saying that. It's like there's no discussion about sunsetting. Sources, dude, just trust me. But like, it's just the decisions on what they want to release may not be what the community wants, but like the game's not dying. It's still okay, at least from what I've been told. So don't shoot the messenger, boys. Just enjoy the game for what it is, because we've had the same stuff going on for 2 years now. It's not like it's suddenly different. All right, so anyways, with that, guys, I think we're kind of ready, all done, good to wrap up, head out. Yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back in a couple of weeks for the next content drop for this. I had planned the last week to have been doing the GBO2 playtest to fill up my time and stream, but because that got indefinitely canceled, yeah, that didn't obviously work out. Yeah, which I think is kind of a shame, honestly. I was really hoping for that playtest to come through, because that would have been really, really, really fun. But, yeah. As for your question as to a new build project suit, nah, bruh. Nah. Yeah, man, I don't actually know if I'm going to be at that FGO stream or not, because from what I saw, it's a collaboration with the Learning with Manga, and, like, I just don't care enough for that like, don't get me wrong, Rio's art is really cute, it's really funny, and I really like the Bunyan event we got, but, like, I don't care enough about Learning with Manga to wake up for a 5 a.m. stream or whatever, especially when I have to wake up at, like, or I have to be out the door by 8 a.m. to get to work. It's just, I just don't care enough. If it was a good event, something interesting, oh man, I'd be in there like a dirty shirt. But learning with manga, oh, miss me with that. Yeah, Brutus, it's a really sad state of affairs, but the playtest for GBO2 was supposed to be from the 20th for a few days, but it was like a double catch because although it was supposed to be from the 20th for like a few days, it was only in very specific time slots that it was going to be running. So I had kind of built my streaming schedule around that time frame. And then come time of the actual playtest, just like Lamau doesn't work, so indefinitely canceled. And yeah, well, they didn't initially say indefinitely canceled. They said they were going to look into the server concerns they were having, and then they just like never got back to us, and that was it. Let me check really quick. Did they ever address that? Um, let's see here. No, their last community post was April the 12th. They haven't put out a new post saying that it's going to be running. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Mana. It's sad. I really hope they do fix those issues though, because again, I know I've talked about this before multiple times, but I really enjoyed playing GBO2, and the only reason I really stopped was because my PS4's wireless chip is effectively fried, and it can't hold a connection to save its life. If that wasn't a problem, I'd be playing a lot more GBO2, but because I can't keep a stable connection, what's the point? So getting the ability to actually um, play it on Steam on a stable network environment, man, you can bet I am in for that. But that's kind of what it boils down to, right? Is we need to flip the magic turn on switch. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up, head out, guys. I want to get to bed. I'm gonna be up in 7 hours. Ugh. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see you in 2 weeks for the next content stream for GBM, unless something crazy happens between now and then. If something really cool happens with FGO, I'll probably do a overview thing tomorrow, but I'll play that by ear. I doubt it. Anyways, peace out. See you guys in the next one.